Good morning, it's Anita Dwyer, and this morning we are going to do a deep stretch class. And a deep stretch class is good maybe after a workout that you've done, a Tabata workout, or a lifting class, or anything that you choose after your run, after your walk. We're going to hold poses for a couple more minutes than normal. As far as props, if you have a block and you want to have that available, or if you have some pillows, pillows might be good. That's Josie. Hello, Josie. And also your water. As far as a playlist, I have just Googled on Spotify deep stretch yoga class. So put on whatever relaxation music works for you, and let's get started. We're going to start on our backs. Come onto your backs. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next breath, inhale through the nose. Keep the lips slightly pressed together and exhale. That's your Ujjayi breath. That breath will be important in your deep stretching today to help you really breathe into those muscles. And then reach the arms overhead. Point the toes. Reach the fingers up like you were just waking up in the morning. And then pull that right knee into the body. Wiggle the toes around a little bit. And then from here, you can keep that left leg bent or straight, up to you. And then you're going to reach down and reach for your big toe. If this doesn't work for you, maybe you just grab behind the right leg. And we're just going to take the knee out to the right. Try and keep the sacrum on the mat so the lower back's really pressed in, the belly button's pulled in. Bring it back through the center. Take it out again to the right. If you have a lot more flexibility and you want to extend that leg out a little more, please do. And then from here, you're going to take that right foot, set it on top of the left leg, coming into your figure four. So a couple options here. You can simply place your hand underneath the knee and gently press the knee away. Or maybe you bring your hands underneath the left leg and pull the figure four into your body. Relax the shoulders. One more breath. And then you're going to release the hands. Bring both feet down to the mat. Stretch the arms out to a T. And just windshield wiper the knees side to side, resetting the spine. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So again, you can lengthen out the right leg. You can keep the right knee bent, whatever works for you. Bend the left knee. You're going to reach for your big toe. If that's not an option, just place your hand behind the left leg. And you're going to take the left knee out to the side. Again, try and keep both shoulders on the mat, pressing the lower back into the mat. Use that beautiful Ujjayi breath. Again, if you can lengthen out the left leg a little more, feel free to do that. And then bend the right knee, place the left foot on top of the right leg. Flex that left foot. Feel free to just place the hand underneath the knee here, pressing the knee away, opening up that hip joint. Or maybe you wrap the hands back around the right leg, coming into your figure four, pulling the figure four into the body. Three more breaths. And then from here, reset the figure four down. Plant both feet. Again, tee the arms, windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then pull both knees into the body. Wrap the hands underneath the knees. Slowly and mindfully start to rock yourself up, keeping the spine long, starting to find that beautiful length in the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Maybe once more here. And we're coming into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders. Pull the belly in. Find that nice flat back here. Knees are about hips distance apart. Drop the belly. Take the gaze up. Exhale, round the spine. Pull the chin to the chest. Really find these movements to be nice and controlled here. Nice and slow, not rushing. Connecting the movement to the breath. And then come back to that neutral spine here. We're coming into puppy pose. So we're going to walk the arms out in front. Keep the hips stacked over the knees. Stretch the fingers out. And then lower the forehead to the mat. Pull the belly in and think about length down the back. Breathing. Puppy pose. One more breath. And then gently lift the forehead. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, moving into heart circles here. So we're going to start to dip the right hip towards the right elbow, left hip to left elbows. Take it back to child's pose. Again, right hip to right wrist. So just perform this movement on your own, connecting the movement to the breath. Do several rounds on your own, allowing the heart to lift, maybe closing the eyes. This can often be said like you're scooping out a peanut butter jar, and if your family's anything like mine, we go through a jar of peanut butter a week. And then start to find that movement in the opposite direction. If it feels good to hang out on one side, maybe dipping the left hip to the left wrist, the right hip to the right wrist. And then we're going to all meet in child's pose, wide leg child's pose. So take the knees out to opposite sides of the mat. Start to send the hips back. Walk the fingertips out in front here. Bring the forehead down to the mat. This is where you can always use a block if you want to bring your forehead to a block. Deep breaths here. And then you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So as you walk your hands over to the left, really shift the left hip towards the back of the left foot. Finding length here in the right side of the body. Use that beautiful Ujjayi breath. Equal inhale. Close lips. Exhale. And then walk the hands through the center. Take the hands over to the right as you send the right hip towards the top of the right foot. One more breath. And then we're going to come back into a tabletop position. Pull the belly in, find length in the spine. You're going to take that right foot back. You're up on the toes. Exhale, press back through the heels, finding that nice little stretch through the fascia of the foot. Inhale, come onto the tippy toes, shift forward. Exhale, send the right foot back. 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Bring that right knee back to meet the left. Kick the left foot back, coming onto the tippy toes. Shift back, press through the heel. Again, finding that stretch in the fascia of the foot. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift. Exhale, shift back. From here, bring the left knee to meet the right. We're going to thread the needle. So you're going to bring the right hand underneath the midline. Send the left fingertips up. Find length. Exhale, take that left arm underneath the right. You're coming onto the outside of the left shoulder. Send the hips back as you walk the right fingertips out in front. This is option 1, or maybe lift the right hand, reach behind the lower back, reaching for that left hip. Use your breath here for 4 deep inhales and 4 deep exhales. Let me hear you breathe. Start to notice where you feel tension, where you feel tightness, and send the breath to those muscles, to those areas. Place the right hand down on the mat. Gently bring the left hand out from underneath the body. Shine the fingertips up. Plant the left hand down. Opposite side. Right arm reaches high. Thread the right arm underneath the left arm, coming onto the outside of that right shoulder. Maybe reaching the left fingertips out in front. Send the hips back, or maybe you take the left hand behind you, reaching for that right inner hip. That's going to open up that left shoulder. Deep breaths. You can send the hips back as far as you can, as long as there is no discomfort. Three more breaths. One more breath. And then bring the left fingertips back out in front. Plant the left hand. Send the right fingertips high. Plant the right hand on the mat. We're going to sit down into a nice seated pose here. Find lift through the crown of the head, sitting up nice and tall. Drop the chin towards the chest. Take the gaze up and take the gaze over the right shoulder. From here, plant the left fingertips. Find length from the middle finger all the way up to the ear. Maybe even dropping the right ear over to the shoulder if that feels okay. And then bring the chin back around. Take the gaze over the left shoulder. Point the right fingertips. Again, you might drop the left ear over to the left shoulder. Finding length here from the crown of the head down through the shoulder all the way to the fingertips. One more breath. Bring the arms overhead. Exhale, you're going to bring the right hand down. Lift the left fingertips, bicep up by the left ear. Root down through both sit bones. Find length in the left side of the body. This might be enough for you. Maybe you start to come down onto your forearm. If you find that left hip lifting, go ahead and come back up. This is a great place for a block. Maybe taking your right forearm on top of a block. Again, really find root through both sit bones. Deep breaths. It helps me to close my eyes and just really focus in on my breath. If this is bothering your neck, you can take your gaze down towards your forearm. And then go ahead and gently come up. We're going to take that to the other side. So plant the left fingertips, take the right arm up by the ear, bicep by the right ear. Again, finding length here in the right side of the body. Root down through both sit bones. This might be enough for you, or maybe coming down onto your forearm. I don't have that flexibility, so I'm going to use my block. Shining my heart up to the ceiling, looking up, or maybe you prefer to look down. Really find length in the right side of the body. It's so important to find length in our spine now as we hover, looking over our technology devices, slumping over from stress. One more breath. And then release, come back up, hands to your knees. Little movement here just to release the spine, seated heart circles. So just moving with the breath. Might even find it to feel good to find that cat back as you're seated here. So rounding the spine. And then reverse direction when it feels good to you. Knowing that it's going to all be okay. And then we're going to plant the hands, come back to our tabletop position. We're finding our first downward facing dog. This will pretty much be our only movement from standing. So start to come onto your toes, pick the knees up, send the hips up towards the ceiling, hollow out the armpits. So if you're looking at me here, I'm spreading the shoulder blades wide, the creases of the elbows shining towards me. Start to find some movement here by walking your dog, walking from the toes to the heels. And then we're going to step that right foot in between the hands, dropping the left knee down, coming into your low lunge. So your left leg is flush with the mat. Right knee is stacked over the right ankle. Take the belly up off the right leg. Find your breath here for just a moment. Finding this nice stretch in the hip flexors. Two more breaths. And then you're going to start to straighten that right leg, coming into half splits. As you start to take the nose towards the knees. Feeling this nice stretch in the hamstring here. As soon as you feel the sensation, allow yourself to fold, keeping a slight bend in your knee. Let me hear you breathe. Great job, guys. One more breath. And then we're going to rebend that right knee, coming into lizard pose. So in lizard pose, we're going to walk that right foot out towards the edge of the mat. Start to bring both hands inside that right knee. And this might be enough for you here. Option 2, you might start to come down onto the forearms. If you have a couple of blocks or you have a couple of pillows, this is a great place to come down onto your forearms. And then just allow the head to come towards your pillows or towards the mats. Use your breath here. Let me hear you breathe. Great job. Couple more breaths. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. If you've used props, go ahead and take them out of the way. Coming into pigeon from lizard pose. So from your lizard pose, walk the right foot back in towards the midline. You're going to start to shift that left foot towards the left wrist. Send the right knee towards the right wrist. If this is too much for you, come into figure 4 that we did on our backs in the beginning. You want to square the hips off towards the mat. So you don't want that left hip kind of hovering up towards the ceiling. So again, square the hips. It doesn't matter if this right foot is in towards the body or parallel to the front of the mat. It doesn't matter how that is. We all have different flexibility. The left leg is flush with the mats, and here you can stay lifted, or again, we're going to come forward. If you have a lot of space between the right hip and the mat, you might put your block there. You might place your pillow there and stay lifted, or maybe you start to come forward. Again, you can use a pillow, you can use a block. We're going to stay here for just a moment. Bringing the forehead down to the mat. So we carry a lot of tension in our hips. Particularly women carry a lot of emotion in our hips. And sometimes during pigeon pose, emotions can come out, particularly during chaotic or stressful times. And embrace that. You might feel tearful. You might feel anxiety, you might feel sadness, and all that's okay. So as those emotions come, just accept them, breathe through them, and let it go. This is a great pose to just really bow forward and just let whatever is going on in our beautiful minds, just let go. And I always tell my class that if you dislike this pose, you're probably doing it right. One more breath, guys. If you're using props, go ahead and take the props out and gently start to bring that right foot, right leg back towards the left. Press back into downward facing dog, and you probably will notice the right leg feels different, so go ahead and shake it out, maybe moving side to side. And then lift the left foot, step the left foot in between the hands, drop the right knee down as you come into your low lunge. Pull the belly away from the top of the left leg. Go ahead and sink low into your hips. Find that nice deep stretch in your hip flexors. Left knee is stacked directly over the left ankle. Use that beautiful Ujjayi breath. Send the breath to the areas of tension. And then start to lengthen out that left leg coming into your half splits. Again, keep a soft bend in the knee. As soon as you feel the sensation, stop there. Sometimes we overstretch. I have fallen victim to that. Start to fold over that left leg. Two more breaths. And then rebend the left knee. Start to take the left foot towards the outside of your mat, coming into lizard. So again, this might be enough for you, or maybe you start to come down onto your forearms. Again, if you have pillows or blankets you can stack, or blocks, bowing forward. Use your breath and push the breath towards the muscles, towards the areas of tension and tightness. Beautiful. And then start to come back up. If you're folded forward, coming into pigeon on this side, again, take figure 4 if pigeon's too much. Start to walk the left foot towards the right wrist, left knee towards the left wrist. Again, notice all this height here with my hip. That's because I have tight hip flexors from all the running and from just stress and tension. So I'm going to set that block underneath there. It doesn't matter if your left leg is parallel to the front of the mat. Mine's not. But I am going to shift and square my hips towards the front of my mats. I'm going to lift here, and this might be enough for me. Or I'm going to start to come forward. Again, hips carry so much emotion, so much tension. We do a lot of sitting. Hopefully these days you're getting outside, breathing in the fresh air. Really use your breath here. With every breath, see where you can let go a little more. One more breath. And then if you've come forward, go ahead and come up. Pull the left foot in towards the body. Take away any props you may have been using. Pull that left leg back to meet the right. And just kind of shake the hips side to side. Press it back, child's pose. Reach the arms out in front, send the glutes towards the heels. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So however you want to get there, pull the knees into the body. Rocking side to side. We're coming into one round of bridge pose. So I'm going to offer a restorative bridge pose today. Pull the heels in towards the glutes. Everything's parallel, the knees, the shins, the tops of the legs, inner thighs, arms down by your side. We're going to inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. You want to pretend a small orange is underneath the chin. For this beautiful restorative option, if you have blankets or pillows or a block, you can bring the block directly underneath the sacrum, so the lower part of the back, and just hold. If you'd rather interlace the hands underneath the body, that's okay too. Keep everything parallel to one another, so don't let the knees flail out to the side. Deep breaths. If you're in the restorative version, hold for 2 more breaths. If you're in a regular bridge, go ahead and come down to the mat. Tee the arms, take the knees side to side. We're coming into a twist here. So the arms are teed. The knees are bent. We're going to gently bring the knees to the right and take our gaze over the left. You want the shoulder blades to stay on the mat. Now, if you know any other version of a twist and you want to take that version, some people like to take one leg on top of the other. Some people like to take the top leg and extend it out. That really gets into the IT band. But a twist should be passive. So if you've got a lot of space between the knees and the floor, just kind of walk the legs out a little bit, or feel free to use some props underneath those knees. Two more breaths. And then bring both knees to the center and take whatever version you did on that side on your left side. So dropping the knees over to the left, taking your gaze over the right. Just letting it all go. This is just a great place to really listen to your breath. One more breath. Come back to the center. Shake the knees side to side, preparing for your Shavasana. So you're going to reach the legs out, your corpse pose, your resting pose. Use any props that you like. Sometimes I bring a block or pillow underneath my head. Maybe grab a blanket, maybe grab a washcloth or an eye pillow, covering the eyes, completely tuning out all the senses. Allowing yourself to just fall into a state of rest. Release control of structured breathing. Relaxing through the feet, through the calves, the hamstrings. Just feel the muscles melting into your mat, the hips melting, relaxing. The hands are relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Not clenching the jaw or the eyebrows. Allowing yourself to reap the benefits of your practice. Take as long as you need in Shavasana for the sake of the video and to maintain attention span. If your Shavasana feels complete, pull the knees into the chest. Moving into the fetal posture, rolling onto your side. Pressing yourself up. And the eyes slightly closed as you bring your hands to your heart, pressing the thumbs in towards the heart. You are enough. What you do is enough. Who you are is enough. What you give is enough. You are enough. My beautiful yogis, we will all get through this. Keep breathing, keep hoping, keep believing, keep smiling. The light in me sees, acknowledges, and honors your light. Namaste. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.